When I thought about getting breast implants, I did my research, or so I thought, and I had the new FDA-approved breast implants placed into my body in 2014. So after I had the implants placed, I started experiencing symptoms. It started with kind of extreme fatigue, insomnia, rashes, these breakouts. I contacted the FDA. There was a way you could submit by phone, online, or you could print a form out. And I reported the device that I had and the issues that I was experiencing.
When the FDA receives data, it typically comes in on a MedWatch report, which is an adverse event report that says that it's an injury or a malfunction or a death, and it can come from anyone. The only people that have to report to the FDA are the manufacturers and hospitals. So you have a huge number of patients and physicians that for a long time didn't even really know they could report to the FDA.
So doctors, I'm not required to report adverse events, and patients are not required to report adverse events. Now you can certainly report, but you're not required to. Again, it really hasn't been automated and brought into the 21st century.
We've seen a wave after wave of defects that have affected millions of people in the last 2 decades. That resulted in massive numbers of lawsuits and billions of dollars having to be paid by these large corporations. Unfortunately, they still come out ahead.
When I realized that the system that the FDA was building still wasn't really going to do what they needed it to do, I left and started building this tool that would essentially do what the FDA needed. Device events is only as strong as the data. If a report isn't being made, if patients aren't reporting their device to the FDA, then there's nothing for me to find. There's no way for device events to help them.
Recently, Allergan launched a global recall of their textured breast implant. And looking through some South Korea articles, they purchased about 100,000 of the devices. 47% of them have been positively identified. What that means is 53% of patients are walking around not knowing they have a device that leads to cancer.
Well, we're not seeing change from the manufacturer's end. The manufacturers are protected. The only people that can sue are the investors at this point. There's no protection for the patient.
So it is still a profit-making endeavor for these corporations, and we do need better regulation and better reporting.
And the importance of adverse event data is that it can be used to inform patients of potential negative outcomes before a recall actually is placed.
As we use more devices and rely on devices, we need to also have reliable and real-time data on what benefits are and what risks are for different devices.
The single greatest way that you can make yourself count is by self-reporting into MedWatch.